This is episode 19 of my 2022 training diaries. And we're back at home here in North Vancouver, Canada, after 2 weeks on the road. And like in many parts of the world, we're experiencing a bit of a heat wave here in Vancouver. And in case you missed it, last week's episode highlighted our drive down through Idaho and Utah on our way to Silverton, Colorado for the Hard Rock 100. We were there mainly to help crew and to pace our friend Ken and to cheer on our other friend Dana, but we were also aiming to get in some training at altitude in preparation for our next trip here to Europe for the month of August. So in this episode, I'll show you some footage from the rest of our trip, including a beautiful 60-kilometer loop that we ran around Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming on our way home. And I also wanted to tell you about a live Q&A that I'll be doing this coming Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time with Colette, who is a registered dietitian and the athlete care manager at Scratch Labs. I was able to get a consultation with her prior to my race in Georgia so that I could run some ideas by her about my nutrition strategy for that race. And she agreed to chat with me again, this time in a live Q&A format here on YouTube for your benefit as well. So we'll be talking about everything from nutrition and hydration during both ultra distance and multi-day running events to general nutrition for athletes. And you'll hear a little bit more about how my nutrition plan worked out for me in my recent race in Georgia. As usual though, I'll run through the week one day at a time in this video to show you how this all fits into my training schedule, starting with last Monday. Monday was a rest day, as it often is for me, and we used it mainly as a day to get organized, to do some laundry, and for me to catch up on a bit of work before leaving Silverton that evening for the nearby town of Ouray to find some camping near the trailhead for the next day's adventure. Because on Tuesday, we planned to get up extra early to summit Mount Sneffels, which is one of the highest mountains in the area at over 4,300 meters, or 14,157 feet, what you'd call a 14er. You might remember from last week's video that we had to bail on Table Mountain, a 13er near Silverton, when lightning storms developed near the summit, as they often do in the early afternoon. So this time we wanted to make sure that we'd be off the summit and ideally back to the car long before then. Okay, so we're at the lower trailhead for Mount Sneffels, just outside of Ouray here in Colorado. And we're about to climb up to 14,150 feet. So one of the highest peaks in the region, 7 o'clock, which gives us a nice buffer to get up to the summit and off before the thunder showers develop in early afternoon. It tends to happen around 1, 2 p.m., pretty much like clockwork every day. So we are planning to be back down by the car, hopefully by about noon. How are you doing?
Good. Making myself a little strawberry lemonade.
Nice. Some electrolytes.
It's gonna be tasty.
Yeah.
Going with the...
Which one is that, Scratch?
Scratch Labs. I'm just about ready. I just gotta try to do something with my very dirty hair.
This was actually Audrey's first 14er. I've done a handful over the years, but never this one, and it was super fun, and we had great weather.
All right. Done with the road approach.
We took the more adventurous route along the ridge, which is a Class 3 scramble with a few exciting moves, but then took the more traditional route down the scree slope on our way down. All right, we're gonna start to pick our way across this ridge here. It's not totally obvious where to go from this perspective, but I think the route will reveal itself as we go.
I'm standing still and I can't breathe.
Okay, so we made it to the top of Sneffels. just over 14,000 feet. I think we're at 14,155 feet. And this is Audrey's first 14er. Okay, time to head back down. I inadvertently ended up with so much footage from Mount Sneffels that I'll be publishing a completely separate video about this soon, which I'm actually almost done, if you want a better look at this adventure. That afternoon, we drove a couple of hours north to Grand Junction, where we got a hotel for the night, before hitting the road the following morning on Wednesday to drive the rest of the way to Wyoming. So we effectively took Wednesday as a rest day and a travel day. And that's also the day that I finished editing last week's video, mostly in the car on the way, and then in the hotel that evening. Thursday, we drove the final few hours to our campsite at Grand Teton National Park. And that left the rest of the afternoon to get out for a 2-hour easy sort of shakeout run, which we did as an out and back along Coal Creek, right up to a viewpoint of the Tetons. So it's a beautiful Thursday afternoon, and we're just heading out for a short run, probably about 2 hours as an out and back. It's just about 5 minutes from our campsite down the road. And this trail pretty much just follows the creek up towards Moose Meadows. We're not sure if we'll make it quite that far. But it should be beautiful. It's going to be well sheltered, which is good because it's quite warm today. There's Audrey waiting for me as usual.
In the shade.
In the shade. Okay, let's go. We were careful not to overdo it because the next day on Friday was our big run for the week, and my biggest in a while actually. We were up at 4:30 to have breakfast and get ready. We then had to drive an hour around to the other side of the park to Jenny Lake, where the trailhead is for the route that we had planned, at least the one with the shortest approach. So it was just after 7 a.m. by the time that we started moving. would run more than 60 kilometers, including the approach, in a loop all the way around the entire Grand Teton National Park, with 2,250 meters of elevation gain plus descent, as we climbed to over 3,300 meters in elevation, over 12,000 feet, through 2 mountain passes. This route was incredible. Definitely one of the most scenic mile for mile that I've ever run. We had views pretty much the entire time. We passed a handful of lakes, we saw 2 bears, and even saw a moose. We actually ended up having thunder showers earlier in the day, but it cleared up completely by the time that we reached the first pass. And this one I definitely will be making a separate film about, which is basically just going to be an hour of pure trail porn. So stay tuned for that one as well. And in that video, I'll give you all the details for camping and planning the route in case you're interested in doing it yourself, as well as some ideas on shorter variations that you could tackle if you're not up to doing the whole thing. The next morning on Saturday, we were up early again to start our drive home, which took all day Saturday and most of the day on Sunday. But on Sunday evening, I did get out for a 90-minute run on the local trails here. I was still feeling pretty stiff from the run on Friday, and I'm sure sitting in a car for 2 days didn't help that, but I could definitely feel all of the extra oxygen being back down here at sea level. I always feel great after spending time at altitude, so I'm looking forward to reaping the benefits this week. So last week, I covered 95 kilometers or 59 miles with 4,260 meters of climbing, roughly 14,000 feet, plus equal descent. This week is more of a recovery week than anything else for me in preparation for one last big effort next weekend. Although this coming weekend I will be doing back-to-back long runs as usual, including hopefully a day in the mountains in Chilliwack with my friend Gary. But we leave for Europe on Monday already, and starting the following Thursday, so in just over a week from now, we'll be starting our 106-mile fast pack of the Tour de Mont Blanc, which we're doing over 4 nights and 5 days. And I'm really excited about that. So I'll also be busy this week packing and making some last-minute preparations for that trip. As I said off the top, I'll be doing a live Q&A this Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time, which I'll link to below. But in case you miss it, you'll be able to watch the recording on my channel as well. So keep following along here because I'm really just partway through the adventures that we have planned for the season. And I've got just a ton of content coming your way. In case you missed it as well, be sure to watch my film from the multi-sport race a few months ago that we did here in Chilliwack, Conquer the Vetter, which I published a couple of weeks ago while on the road. If you found this video inspiring or maybe entertaining, then give it a like. And I will talk to you all next week from Chamonix, France.